Welcome back to Home Sweet Home Cooking. I am your host, Rocky, with my mother. Tell them where we are.
In my kitchen.
As always. Today, I'm going to do a redo on the Southern Essentials number 11, the mac and cheese. We made mac and cheese a couple weeks ago. It was good, but it wasn't up to what I think. It was a Southern style. This is also going to be a Southern style, a different type. The other one was a custard based. This one's going to be a roux based macaroni and cheese. So it's going to be rich and creamy and not have that egg binder in it. So we're going to go ahead and get the pasta boiling, and we're going to get everything set up and get the cheeses shredded, and we'll be back after the intro and show you how it's made. Okay, we are back at it. We have on the stove a saucepan with 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. You can use salted butter, doesn't matter. Actually, I think this is salted butter. Just make sure when it comes time to season later, you remember that it is salted and it will have a little bit of salt in it. This recipe originally said you can cook it in a cast iron skillet. Well, I've got a 10-inch skillet and I've got a 6-inch skillet. I need an 8-inch skillet. So we're gonna do this in a saucepan to make the roux, and it's gonna go in a casserole dish to go in the oven. I do need to get myself an 8-inch skillet. I've been kicking myself in the butt for not having one, and now I really am. You can do it in a casserole dish or you can do it in the skillet, because I think food served on the table in a skillet just looks much nicer to me. It gives it that rustic family kind of feel. So this butter is now melted. It is starting to bubble a little bit. This is half of a quarter cup. It's 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And you're just going to make a little roux out of this. Stir the butter into the flour and let it cook until the flour taste cooks off. Takes about, well, according to the recipe, add butter to the skillet. Continue whisking flour until fully mixed with butter. Cook for about a minute to get rid of the flour taste. And yeah, you could use a whisk. I may switch to a whisk here when it comes time to add the milk. So I'm just going to get this cooked here for about a minute, and we will come back and finish the sauce. This, by the way, is called what's called a bechamel sauce. Actually, I'll go ahead and explain that instead of cutting away. A bechamel sauce is butter and flour made into a roux, and to that you add milk. Now, the milk to make a classic bechamel is heated before you put the milk in. You can do that here, but what they do is they take an onion, a whole onion, they peel it, and they stick cloves pierced into the outside, whole cloves, so it looks kind of like your traditional ham that you poke cloves into. And they put that in the milk as it heats, and the milk is already seasoned with onion and clove. So I'm not going to do that with the milk. That is the French classic way of doing it. I'm going to skip that step and just make a simple bechamel with the flour and the butter and the milk. This is going to call for a 16-ounce can of, a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. I just got the Walmart brand because I'm cheap, and it's evaporated milk. You're not really going to taste a difference in it. So now that this is cooked for a while, I'm going to add this a little bit at a time and stir it in to get the lumps out. As you can see, it thickens up quite a bit. I'm just going to keep adding it until it becomes thin, until the lumps disappear. Just a little bit of milk at a time. And that way you keep your sauce from getting lumpy and clumpy. Alright, now as you can see that it's gotten cleaned through, I'm going to go ahead and poke the rest of that drain hole so the milk comes out a little faster. And all the lumps are gone. Now I can just add the rest of the milk. That's 12 ounces of evaporated milk and 1 cup of half and half. And this is just going to simmer, bring it up to a simmer for about 3 minutes until it just starts to thicken. It's going to take a bit, so I'll come back when it is thickened up. Alright, it is starting to thicken slightly, which means it's time to add my seasonings. And like I say, we're going to go with kind of the bechamel theme. So instead of doing the onion, I'm going to add some onion powder, about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon. I am going to add just a few shakes of clove. Doesn't really come out of here. So you can see on the top, it just kind of peppers the top. I don't want to go overkill. And one thing that I found goes really well with dairy and cheese products, I found this out from making Alfredo sauce, which this is the same base that uses Alfredo sauce, is nutmeg goes really well in cheese and dairy sauce. So I'm going to put a little nutmeg. That's my own little addition to this. And now you're just going to let it simmer for another 2 to 3 minutes or so. And you got to keep stirring it. You don't want it to burn. This is dairy, so it will burn. So I'm going to continue to stir this. It'll thicken a little more, and then it'll be time to add the cheese. Okay, it is simmered for another 3 minutes. It is still thickening up a little bit. And next, you're going to add your cheese. Now, the choice of cheese can be up to you. My choice of cheeses was I had some different ones left over, so I finished off what I had of some extra sharp cheddar. I had some mild cheddar, and I bought some mozzarella because I want a little bit of gooiness in it. And it's 1.5 cups total of cheese. You can use whatever cheese you want. You can use pepper jack, you can use Monterey Jack, you can Colby Jack, cheddar, but I would suggest putting a little bit of mozzarella in there to get that creamy cheese pull when you get to the end product, when you go to take a bite. And I'm just going to stir this until it's all melted in, nice and gooey. I still got some cheese clumps in there. You don't want to cook it too long. Once it's melted, you just want to get the cheese fully incorporated. It should only take a minute. Alright, you can see that when it comes off the whisk, there's no big clumps of cheese. That's a pretty good cheese sauce right there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the element off, and we'll be back to the countertop in just a moment. Cheese sauce, the cheese sauce is still nice and melty. Next step is going to be put it all together. 8 ounces of dry pasta. This is going to be a greased casserole. It's going to go in. Because I'm going to go a little bit off the rails on this, I'm going to put in some fresh diced jalapeno. Why not? Don't worry about the rest. This is for another recipe I'm doing. And then I'm going to add the cheese sauce. And now I'm going to stir it in. I don't like wasting food, so I'm going to make sure it's all scraped out. Yeah, this is going to be really ooey gooey, I can tell. And when you bake it, it's going to be 375 degrees uncovered for 20 minutes until everything is bubbly and golden brown. And there's a lot of extra sauce in there, so I'm going to make sure it's mixed in the best that I can. Hold some in the middle there. And now would be the time that you want to check for salt and pepper to taste. That'll do. I'll let people decide if they want to put pepper on at the table or salt it more. Could use a little more salt in my opinion, but we're going to let it go. And last thing I want to do is I want to put a little more shredded cheddar on top to get that nice melty cheesy crust on top. And now off to the oven, 375 degrees for 20 minutes uncovered. And if you want a little more brown on top after that 20 minutes, you can go ahead and put it on the broiler, but we're going to get it going and be back and have a taste after it's cooled off. So I'll be back in just a few moments. Alright, the mac and cheese is out of the oven. It's cooled down a little bit. I'm going to bring it in for a close-up as I pull a forkful out, and we'll see if I get any of that stringy, cheesy action going on. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a cheese pull to it. The important part is going to be the taste. Alrighty, Ma. She goes for the thick cheese on top. Cheers.
Beers.
Mm.
I'm not a macaroni and cheese fan, but that'll sure do.
That's really good. The jalapeno gives it a little bit of a crunch, a little bit of a heat, not much. Cheese is so much creamier than it is in the custard version where the egg sets it up and you get that soft, velvety cheese flavor to it.
I chopped the jalapenos.
I can't taste the clove.
No,
very,
not
very
at all.
mild. I can just taste the nutmeg.
Barely.
Yeah, which is just what you want. You don't want it overpowering, but it's just a background note there. This is really good, folks. I will say that this is a success for the Southern mac and cheese. Especially with the other one. I mean, I gave you two versions. Either one of them is good. This one I like more because of the creamy velvetyness. I wouldn't be afraid to serve this to anybody. An option you can do on this, like I say, if you get a smaller, like an 8-inch cast iron, you can do this right in a cast iron pan in the oven. You can top it with, take some melted butter and put some breadcrumbs in it, and that'll be in the recipe link. I didn't want to cover this because I wanted this to show through as the mac and cheese. That is more of a crutch, I think. But you can always cover it with crackers and butter, or
that would be good.
Breadcrumbs and butter to give it a little bit of crunch, and then you can also brown that. You wouldn't necessarily have to put the cheese on top like I did. Either way would be delicious. It's going to be up to you because you're cooking for you, I'm cooking for me. You can change the recipe however you want. You don't have to put the jalapenos in there. You can just make mac and cheese. So definitely this is the number 11 on Southern Essentials list, and I would say that I've now completed that portion, and with 2 different recipes, definitely. So thank you for watching, folks. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Help my channel grow. I would like to get to the point where I think I need 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount of watch hours in a 30-day or 90-day period to get monetized, which I think I'm close as far as the hours go. I just need more subscribers. At that point, if I can monetize and YouTube pays me for creating content, I can take that into buying more kitchen utensils and maybe have some giveaways throughout, you know, because I can't afford to take, I haven't worked in over a year, or about a year. I've been taking care of helping take care of my dad because he's got dialysis. So without me working, I don't have any extra money to kick into the channel, but if I can get monetized by YouTube and get a little bit of money back from them, then I certainly can. So thank you all for watching. I hope you liked the video. I hope you try this, or if you have another mac and cheese that is not custard or roux based, let me know. And please don't say, oh, the Kraft cheese and macaroni out of the box, because that's not mac and cheese.
That's true.
True. All right, folks, thank you for watching, and y'all have a great afternoon. I want more.